the first part you need to know to love never felt so good is the intro. It sounds like this. And it goes into the verse from there. We're just going to take that one little piece first. So this chunk comes up a couple of times throughout the song. So you're going to need to remember it. The first thing you need to play is a G minor 7. And the way I think you should try and play it, if you can, if your hands can reach all these, if you can't reach all the notes, just drop some of them out until your hands can reach as many of the notes as possible for this whole tutorial. But in your left hand, if you can play octaves, G's in your left hand, and if with your right thumb, if you can play an F and a G at the same time, I know this is a little strange, a B flat with your 2 finger, a D with your 4 finger, and an F with your 5 finger, if you can reach all that. Okay, so that's the chord, nice and full sound, all right? So that's the first chord. The second chord is a C over D, but watch how it shifts from here. How it's actually kind of easy. My wrists don't move a lot. So what you're going to do is your left hand is going to go from these G's to just a D. Okay? And your right hand is going to switch from this G minor 7 chord to a C. So you're going to put your thumb on G. So your thumb was on both, now it's just on G. Your 3 finger will play a C, and your 5 finger will play an E. Okay? So just those first 2 chords are like this. You can even practice just playing between those two just to get used to that move, because it's actually a little bit strange. Okay, now the next 2 chords, the way to remember it is that the third chord, the one that's next, is a D flat over an E flat, but basically you can think about it as moving everything up a half step. So you're going to move this up a half step to an E flat. This is going to go up to a flat. This is going to go up to a D flat. And this is going to go up to an F. Okay, so that's your third chord. So from here to there. And now the fourth chord, the way you remember this is everything up a whole step. So this E flat becomes an F. This A flat becomes a B flat. You've got an E flat and a G. So watch how these 4 chords work together. I'll go really slow. G minor 7 to a C. Everything up a half step. D flat over E flat. Everything up a whole step. E flat over F. And you want to practice that move like in a loop until you get it really smooth. And there actually is a part of the song where you play it twice through, so you really do need to play it in a loop like that. Okay, cool. Anyway, so practice that move. I know it's tough, but once you get it, the other stuff is going to come a little more easily. So the next part you need to know is the verse. So you know the intro now, and the verse sounds like this. And okay, so that was not the whole verse, but that was a chunk of the verse, and you're going to repeat that part again for the next part of the verse. So I'm just going to show you that piece. So you've got a G minor 7, just like that first chord you played in the intro. So that one's easy. The other thing, because this is kind of a tough song to learn, I'm going to be sort of expecting you to replay the video to learn the chords. I'm not going to be doing a ton of reviewing the chords, otherwise the video is going to be too long. So if I already showed you the chord, I might not show you how to play each piece of it. Okay? Sorry about that. So you've got a G minor 7, like I showed you from the intro, and then the next chord is a C7 sus4, but the easy way to move to that is to move from your left hand from this G up to a C, and just take this D out of the chord. So watch this move. Pretty easy, right? The next chord you need to know is an F major 7, so you can bring this C down to an F in your left hand, and you're going to play, with your right hand, you're going to play an F, and you're basically going to skip over every white note for 4 notes. So you've got an F, skip, A, skip, C, skip, E. There's your F major 7. And then you're going to move to an A minor 7 flat 5. So don't worry too much about, all these chords have like a lot of strange names, so don't worry too much about that. I'm going to give you the arrangement so that it's easy to move between in your hands once you learn it. So your left hand is going to play an A, or 2 if you want, and your right hand is going to play G, A, C, and E flat. Okay? Now the chord right after this is a D7 flat 9, but the way you can do it is to move your left hand to a D, and I'm keeping my right hand where it is just because it's easy to show you that you just need to move this thumb down a half step to this G flat, or this F sharp, whatever. Okay, so you go from here to here. Okay, and then you sort of end this little loop. It sort of it almost wobbles because it's not sort of an even number of chords. It's almost like a strange number of bars before it repeats. You're gonna jump up to a G minor 7, just like that first chord I taught you, and then another C7 sus4. So you remember, you jump to the C and you take this D out. Okay, so that's like the chunk, and you're gonna repeat that exact chunk. So let me show you. I'll play through it twice. So I'll play that repeat before we move into the next piece, and I'll show you. I'll play slowly and try to show you the chords. All right. So you've got G minor 7, C7. We lift this up. F major 7 is the skipping over the white notes. A7 minor, A minor 7 flat 5. D7 flat 9. Up to a G minor 7. And then that C7 sus4 again. That's loop 1. Now here's loop 2. To the C7 sus4. To the F major 7. To the A minor 7 flat 5. To the D7 flat 9. To the G minor. To the C7 sus4. Now you go into the next part of the verse, which sounds like this. Okay, so I know there's a lot of moving parts, but once you get these in your hand, I promise you they're so fun to play. So we've gone through that little chunk that I showed you, the first half of the verse, twice, and then you're gonna go into this A minor 7 flat 5, just like you've played this. You played this chord before. With your thumb, you're gonna play a G. 2 finger, you can play an A. 3 finger, a C, and with your pinky, or with your 4, whichever you find easier, this E flat. And your right hand is playing an A. And that moves into the D7 flat 9, just like before. This goes to the D, and this drops at a half step. And now here's the new part. You've got a B flat. So I'm just going to show you the first chord, and I'll show you the easy way to move through the next series. So you've got B flats in your left hand, an F, a D, and an F in your right hand. You'll notice I'm not playing this B flat in my right hand. That's because it's being played down here, and it sort of works with the movement that's about to happen. So you've got this chord, and let me just sort of play through and walk through the next few chords. Watch this finger and this finger. Actually, I'm going to move it up. Even though I'm playing this B flat down here, I'm going to move it up here so you can sort of see the movement, okay? So the next series of chords are like this. The next 3 chords, you'll see these middle notes are basically just moving down, sort of, not exactly parallelly, but like kind of at the same time, right? So if you split that open, what you're basically doing is you've got this B flat, and then you've got an F over an A, which means this moves down to the A. That's the over the A part. And this 4 finger moves to a C. And you'll notice that you're basically playing an F chord, except it's over the A. Okay? The next chord is a G minor 7. So this is like the first chord that I showed you. So you see that this continues going down to the B flat. This goes to the G. I've added in this D as well with my right hand. And don't worry, I'm going to review this in a second. And then the last chord is the C7 sus4, so you basically take this D out and move this C up, just like before. Okay? So really slowly, that whole second section of the verse is like this. A minor 7 flat 5, D7 flat 9, B flat, F over an A, G minor 7, C7 sus4, and then you're back into a different part. You actually go into the chorus. So I know that's a lot of chords, and it's just kind of tough. So take your time and sort of pause the video if you need to sort of find where stuff is. Okay. So now you need to know the chorus, and the chorus is kind of similar in a lot of ways. It'll feel similar, but it's got a couple of tricks. You've got this G minor 7 to begin with, as usual. Move to the C7 sus4, just like before. Moves to the F major 7 just like before. Here's the difference. Instead of going to the A minor 7 flat 5, you're going to go right to the D 7 flat 9. That's like this. And that 4-chord loop that I just showed you, you repeat. So here it is again. G minor 7, C7 sus 4, F major 7, D7 flat 9. So that's the second time through. Now, the next part of the chorus is going to look familiar. You've got that G minor 7, and then that part that I just showed you that was in the verse. Love never felt so good. The only difference is you end on this F major 7. Okay? Now, that's the majority of the chorus, but you kind of come out of the chorus using that intro piece that I showed you. Remember the part that goes like this? I know there's a lot of parts here, but I'll write all the chords above, and I'll leave the chords written in the description below as well. So that intro move, just as a refresher, is G minor 7, C over a D, D flat over an E flat, and E flat over an F. Okay, if you get those chunks, you're mostly done. Only a couple of catches left. So the form of the song, you've got that intro, you've got the first verse, and you've got the first chorus. That's basically what we've learned up to. Then you play a verse again, and in the song, that's when Justin Timberlake comes in, so you might want to change your style, play it like a little bit smoother. I actually made a piano cover that I'll link to at the end of this video, where you can see my version and how I sort of change the style at that verse. So you've got the second verse, you've got the second chorus, all good so far, and then you go into what is basically another verse, except it's very quiet. You might not actually play the chords. You can play the chords and it still sounds right, but you might, if you were playing with a band, for instance, you might cut out for that part. And then you've got the last chorus, and the last chorus is a little bit different from the other choruses. It's similar. You've got G minor 7, C7 sus 4, just like before, F major 7, and then D7 flat 9, just like before, and you repeat it just like before. I'll do it just... And then you've got this next part, which is G minor 7. This is going to look familiar still. B flat, F over A, G minor 7, C7 sus 4. Now, instead of going to that F major like you do in the chorus, you're going to do 2 of those intro moves right in a row. So it's really fast. So let me play through the section that I just played for you there, and I'll go into the ending. So it sounds like the end of the last chorus. It sounds like this. So I know this is probably the toughest part of the song. You just got to practice this piece over and over and over again. But you've got this little walk down, the G minor 7, the B flat, F over an A, G minor 7, C7 sus 4, and then that intro piece, the G minor 7, C over a D, D flat over the E flat, E flat over the F, and then repeat the G minor 7, C over the D, D flat over the E flat, E flat over the F. I know that's so much, but you get through that chunk and then the end is smooth sailing. It's kind of like, it's sort of like the first half of a chorus block, so you've got that G minor 7. So this is the end part now. G minor 7, C7 sus 4, F major 7, D7 flat 9, and you repeat that section. There's your C7 sus 4, F major 7, D7 flat 9, and then you've got this little part that should look familiar, G minor 7, B flat, A, F over an A, sorry, B flat, F over an A, G minor 7, C7 sus 4, F major 7. Now the only other cool little trick about the end is that the very end sort of sounds like this. And so you're basically oscillating between F major 7 and C7 sus 4. And for this one, I'm actually adding that D back in, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So F major, C7 sus 4, and F major. You do it 4 times. So we'll say that's 2. So here's 3. Here's the last one, and you end on an F major 7. You can sort of dress it up any way you want, but basically you end on that F major 7 chord, nice and soft and jazzy. That's it. I know that was a ton of stuff. If you get through this, give yourself a pat on the back, because this was a tough one, but I hope you enjoy playing it because it's so fun. It's going to be a great song. So I really hope it helped you. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.